What are you saying, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back here to bring you guys another video today. We are on day one, I'd say, of the big earnings this week. Today's obviously Tuesday, and I think tomorrow and Thursday are the huge earnings. But today, you also had a couple big companies reporting. We had Microsoft and Google. Also, you had Chipotle and Visa as well. We're going to start off with Microsoft and just kind of discuss what happened with them. Now, in Q1 of either Q1 or Q2 of this year, you had a lot of companies who were missing earnings, but there was a hindrance due to different issues with ad revenue. You guys know there are loads of ad platforms out there. You've got YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, obviously Google. You've got even platforms like Twitter. And here, what I'm going to show you guys is Microsoft missed earnings. And one of the big things which actually contributed to this was a slowdown in ad revenue. So I didn't actually know how important, how influential ad revenue was to a company like Microsoft, but it still is pretty important. I mean, obviously, any company in the world which has a slowdown in ad revenue, of course, that's an issue. But what I'm saying is, I didn't realize how big of an effect it would have on a stock like Microsoft or a company like Microsoft. Now, in addition to that, they missed revenue, missed earnings per share, productivity and business processes was down, and then you also had intelligent cloud and personal computing down. So Microsoft briefly dropped about 2.5% from when I saw it after hours, and then it started pushing up again. I think it's down around just over 1% now, according to what I'm seeing. So here we go. Microsoft is down 23% year to date, so since the year began. And you guys know that this year has been a very difficult year for all companies, majority of companies, apart from oil, wheat sector, gas, and the likes. Most companies have suffered. So when you see a company like Microsoft down this much, down this bad, it is also an opportunity for you guys to buy shares long term. Google also reported earnings after hours, and it's not on here, but Google actually beat. So maybe the money that's being spent from Microsoft's ad revenue, expected ad revenue, is going to Google. Who knows? But you guys know Google is the biggest search engine in the world. When it comes to ads, Google is probably up there. In fact, it's probably number one, I'd say. Obviously, Facebook and YouTube are up there as well. From what we've been seeing in the past week or two, Facebook is probably not touching Google right now, and I don't think they are for a long time. So yeah, Google beat, which I think saw the stock rise a bit. We're going to look at the charts in a second. We're just going to go through these articles first. Then you had Walmart. So Walmart was down 7% today. The reason Walmart was down 7% was just yesterday, right at market close or just after market close, I believe the CEO or an analyst came out and spoke about Walmart, saying they had negative expectations. It might show in this article. Here we go. So the CEO, Doug McMillon, came out and said, we're anticipating more pressure on general merchandise in the back half. Those kind of things can see a stock like Walmart drop. It dropped from $131, $132, all the way down to $120. 7% drop. When that kind of thing happens with the bigger companies, it's always down to laying off employees, maybe a bit of news leaked out, or CEO saying something which is very negative. Those kind of things can help a company drop like this. With regular companies, or smaller companies, you don't see, them being affected that bad by that kind of news. You see them affected by all sorts of other things. Even volatility will affect those kind of stocks. But like I said, just here you see Shopify as well, dropped almost 16% after they said they're laying off around 10% of their employees. We saw a similar situation to Tesla last month, where Elon Musk emailed out that they were going to drop off or lay off around 10% of their employees as well. We saw it tank. Same happened with Shopify today. And it's crazy because Shopify actually announced earnings tomorrow before market. So I'm now wondering how badly it's going to drop, because it's already dropped badly. And I'm thinking it can't drop that much worse in such a short period of time. But who knows? I mean, the expectations are already bad. It could get even worse. Tomorrow we also have FOMC. We'll have a look at that in a second. In fact, you know what? Well, let's have a look at it now before we go into the charts. So we'll find out how many points interest rates is going to be raised by or dropped by. It was raised by 0.75%, which was the most since 1994. Tomorrow, a lot of people are saying it might get raised to 1%, but others are saying it might get brought down to 0.5%. We'll just have to see. Again, just to highlight, this article is from last month. So if you are looking at this article and thinking, oh, this and that, now this is from last month. So don't use this to make any decisions going into tomorrow. Spotify are also announcing earnings tomorrow. Amazon, I believe, is Thursday. Let's just have a look at the earnings calendar. Yeah, Amazon, Apple, Roku, Intel Thursday. We've got Boeing tomorrow as well. It's going to be pretty lit. Now, I'm just seeing a notification that Google actually missed earnings. So I believe the stock price is actually quite flat right now. Here we are. We're going to have to look at this because I think overall they missed. There we go. Now, okay, they missed earnings, missing estimates, but they beat ad revenue. Okay. Yeah, they missed earnings. Adjusted earnings per share was 121. 132 was the expectation. Ad revenue 56 billion, which is more than the 56.14 billion expected, which is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. In regards to ad revenue, a lot of companies, when it comes to the ad revenue, that's having a big hold on what their earnings do. It says the stock is slightly up after hours. That's interesting. So Microsoft and Google both missed earnings, but they didn't do what Snapchat did, which is my point earlier as well. These bigger companies, if they are going to make a crazy drop, it's not going to make, first of all, it's not going to make a crazy drop like a 30% drop. Second of all, it's going to have to be something drastic which is announced for them to make that kind of drop. Snapchat had a poor earnings and then just tanked. But that didn't happen with Google or Microsoft. Let me do the charts now. I know Visa earnings went well. Same with Texas Instruments. We'll first look at Visa, ticker symbol V. It's very easy to remember. Here we go. So Visa basically is flat. Very strange. Here we can find out a bit more about earnings. Yep, they beat earnings. Very strange. The stock is very flat. That's what happens with earnings sometimes. Let's look at Texas Instruments now. I think the ticker symbol, yeah, TXN. They also beat, yep, there we go, up 2.59% after hours. Also beat earnings. They also pay dividends, so just so you guys know, 2.45, beat 2.13, 5 billion, more than the 4.6 billion. Pretty interesting. Let's have a look at Coinbase now. Symbol COIN. They are getting destroyed. And if you see the daily chart here, look at that, down 21% as they're being investigated by the SEC. Let's have a look at Yahoo Finance. See if we can get some more news on Coinbase. It is one of the trending tickers right now, along with Walmart and Microsoft and Shopify as well, the other couple we just discussed. This is the thing you can do with platforms like Yahoo Finance. You can just have a look at the stock prices, etc., the news, all that kind of stuff. There we go. Coinbase stock plunges on SEC crypto probe. I fear the worst for Coinbase. It's been going down for months, and it honestly looks like there's no end for it right now. The stock price is just plunging, We may be able to find the support around $45 here, which seems to be a pretty strong level of support. So that's another $7 drop. There's definitely plenty of money to be made on these Coinbase puts. Get yourself a nice little 12% gain there with the puts. Previous lows are around $40. So if we drop another $12, yeah, there's definitely a lot you're going to make bank there. Just have to be smart with your expiration on whatever Coinbase contracts you trade. Let's have a look at Meta. Meta's just been tanking as of late. And the contracts are quite expensive on this one. But check this. After hours, it's up 1.61%. And I have no idea why. I think it could possibly be something to do with Google or Microsoft's earnings, but they both missed. So I don't know if people are expecting maybe more ad revenue coming from Facebook, or I have no idea what it could be. But it's just something to keep on your radar. I've expected Facebook to keep dropping right around here, 153. Shout out Shonuff in the group as well, because that's exactly the same level you had earlier. But we're going to have to see how this performs in the lead up to earnings tomorrow after hours, and then take your chances of that. I'll look at Boeing now before AMD and then wrap this video up. So Boeing announcing earnings before market tomorrow, currently slightly up after hours. And a lot of us expecting it to drop. I was explaining to the guys in the Discord earlier that some of the planes I've been on in the past month or so have had a lot of trouble, maintenance issues, and I think that this is a common theme around a lot of the Boeing planes right now. We could be seeing a drop to around 147, maybe even lower. Remember, you can always look at different timeframes and analyze those so you can get a better indication of what is expected short term. But as I always mention, earnings is always going to be earnings, so you can never know what's going to happen, right? You just got to kind of play what the market gives you. There's a 4-hour support around this 148 area on the chart here. Look at the 1-hour chart. Support zone around 152. So Boeing is another one I'm keeping my eyes on. Look at this long wick from yesterday down to 153 before it rebounded. Now let's look at AMD. Have a brief look at the tech sector. So on the 1-hour chart, we're kind of consolidating in this $85 range, but we're still bearish. The reason I say we're still bearish is if you look at the 4-hour chart, you can clearly see look how the candles have been moving since last week. Downwards motion. There might be a crossover here on the RSI, but not quite yet. I think we're still a couple of days out from experiencing that crossover before the uptrend begins. Maybe once we hit the $83 support is when we start seeing the uptrend, or maybe it just bottoms out somewhere around $83 and then consolidates before starting to push upwards. So right now, what I'd be looking at with AMD is puts down to $83, see if it finds support. If it doesn't, then we could be just dropping further to maybe a $79, $80 range. It is up 0.69% after hours. There's been a few bits of crazy movement around different stocks after hours today, I see. That's what's going to happen in the big earnings week. Also remember, Amazon and Apple are reporting Thursday. I'll try and make a video after hours when they have done their earnings. I'm probably not playing either of those two. I'll just see how they perform. I mean, I am hearing murmurs and rumors in regards to Apple's ad tracking changes. For those of you who have iPhones, you guys know how many ads we see. And I know a lot of times with like, oh, it's Instagram or it's Facebook or it's this and that. I'm hearing that due to privacy records or so, it's actually Apple that's doing all this. Again, I don't know too much about it. I'm probably going to have to look into it. I'm also hearing murmurs that was one of the reasons why Shopify struggled so much. Either way, I'm just wanting to put that out there so you can go and look at Apple ad tracking, search that up, and I'm sure you'll find plenty. But overall, that's enough for me today. Yep, we're going to wrap it up here. Make sure you guys check out the Royal Trading Academy. That's our Discord where we talk about stocks. We post news, articles. We have the call outs, breakdowns. We live trade. We do all that kind of stuff in there. Also, for those of you who are new to trading options, or even if you just want to improve when it comes to option trading, check out the Stock Option Starter Pack. That is 10 videos you guys will have access to for life. The link in the description below. Also, check out my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, all at The Wealth Prince. I just uploaded the TikTok yesterday, so go like that one and check that out. And speaking of liking, make sure to like this video, comment, let me know your thoughts on the video, let me know what other videos you'd like to see, etc, etc. And if you're new around here, please make sure to hit the beautiful red button below and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. We're going to look at how these earnings plays play out. I'm excited. It's a big week for earnings, but we're going to make money regardless. I got money making, you got money making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.
Game over.